Hello everyone, today I want to talk about the Panasonic Leica 15mm f1.7 lens that I just got. I know that I said it doesn't make financial sense to buy a prime lens that is already covered by my, the zoom range is already covered by my a 10 to 25mm f1.7 lens, but hear me out. Here's my reason. Look at this. This is the 10 to 25 lens. It is gigantic comparing to the 15mm. And in my previous video, I did this experiment that I used this lens to use it on a fixed focal length to pretend that it is a prime lens. And I actually found a lot of joy shooting prime. I found it's actually really fun to challenge myself that way. And I kind of wanted to have a actual prime lens that is lightweight that I can carry everywhere to shoot street casual. When I hang out with friends, I could have bright aperture, but it's also small package. I don't have to bring this super heavy. It's not super heavy, but comparing to Micro Four Third, it is heavyweight. It is a lot. It is a big, giant lens. So if I just want to go out with a friend for a drink, I don't want to carry a huge lens like that. Is just too much. I chose the a 15mm, and I also looked at a lot of a 17mm and the Panasonic 20mm as well. I compared all those, and I decided on the 15mm mainly because the aesthetic, I guess. It just looks the most beautiful. The design, it has the most Leica look, has a more beautiful design. It has aperture ring. I love the aperture ring. Always love the aperture ring on a lens, just like this one. Love it. Beautiful. The more design on the lens, the more interesting it looks. The more you want to hold it, the more you want to shoot with it. So a good lens aesthetic design makes you want to shoot with it more, which in turn definitely will help with your photography. If you want to shoot more, if you're inspired to shoot more, of course it's gonna be good for your photography, as opposed to lens that is actually pretty good but looks really plain and boring. Maybe you don't want to shoot with that lens that much, even if it's really good. My lens here, I'm shooting with the Sigma 17 to 70 lens. It's a little bit heavy. It's overhead. Its lens can creep a little bit, so I have to adjust it. Let me just show you the ugly lens that I'm talking about at one moment. All right, here it is. This is the A7SII 42.5mm f1.8 lens. Great performer, very sharp, it's also autofocus, and it's very cheap, under $100. So yeah, it's a great lens, but look how ugly it is. Just not only subjectively, objectively, it is an ugly lens. Like, the design is plain and boring, and and also this ring doesn't even turn. It's not a real focus ring. It's just a decoration or for hand grip. I did a review on this lens, but yeah, I really don't like how it looks. So that's why I don't use this lens as much. It's just because it look ugly on my cameras. And if you compare it to something like this is something you want to put on your camera all the time because it looks beautiful. They just match perfectly. Look at this. This is a perfect combination with a Lumix GX85 or GX80. Perfect size, perfect. The look just matched perfectly. Actually, the lens came so small. I didn't expect it to be so small. I thought it would be a little bit bigger, but it's smaller than I expected. It fits in my palm. It's so tiny, and the Leica 12 to 60 is already very small lens. But if you put it side by side, compare them, look how tiny the 15mm is. This setup literally fits in my pocket. It's really literally pocketable setup. So yeah, it's pretty neat. All right, let's talk about the lens a little bit. Probably gonna do a review someday, but I want to just shoot more with it right now. I'm kind of shooting daily with this lens, with this setup. I never thought I would enjoy a zoom lens this much, a prime lens this much. I try a prime. I buy new prime lenses every now and then, to cheap prime lenses to test them out, to do review, but I never really enjoyed any prime lens. I just test it for a few days and just toss it aside, never use it again. But this lens, I think I'm gonna use it every day for just daily shoot, because it's so fun. It looks beautiful. It's a super nice combination. It has f1.7 aperture, pretty bright. It's like a mini 10 to 25, but you're fixed at 15. Yeah, basically it does look like a mini 10 to 25 lens like this. It's like a tiny compact version of it, but at only 15mm. Now 15mm is indeed a little bit odd choice. Why did they choose 15mm? It's a 30 full frame equivalent. It's not really common focal length for a prime lens. I thought it was weird as well, but it's actually really wide. You can actually you can vlog with it actually, because how tiny it is. You can hold it long enough, far enough from your face, to make it look kind of natural to shoot vlog with, which is very interesting. So yeah, it is a wide lens. But also if you stay close to your subject, you can get very nice subject separation, great bokeh. So let me talk about the lens itself a little bit. The aperture ring is kind of loose. It's not really tight. I'd love to have a really tight aperture ring, so that you don't accidentally turn it to a different value, but it's fine. Yeah, and here you have also the auto mode. So yeah, it's very simple. When I shoot landscape, I like to shoot around 5.6, and when I for example, if I want to shoot portrait and turn after a landscape shot, I just turn all the way to A mode, all the way, so I don't have to even look at it. And at this A mode, you can it has a little more resistance to turn to f1.7, so it's safer to put it on A. So when it travels through f1.7 to A, the aperture setting will go to f1.7 automatically. So basically A and f1.7 are the same thing, right? Because you go through this f1.7, you go to A, and the setting camera is f1.7 unless you change it with a dial. So basically you have a two f1.7 to turn to. It's pretty neat. And then when you want to shoot landscape, just turn them back here. Yeah, 1.7, f5.6, like this, back and forth. That's how I do it. Pretty cool. This is a second-hand lens, so it didn't came with a tiny little ring that comes that covers it when you take off the hood. But I guess I'll shoot with hood on all the time. Probably it's so tiny already, and the hood adds a little bit a unique look to this lens as well. It's a pretty cool look. So yeah, I don't plan to take off the hood. I'll show you the lens front element. It's pretty small. It's it's a compact size. You can compare it to the Lumix 12 to 32mm, very similar size. Actually, yeah, almost the same. This one 37mm diameter. This one is 46, but very similar. And you can see the size as well if you open this up. Very comparable size. This is a zoom lens. Sometimes I use it on the GX85, and it's really fun because it's tiny. Yeah, I've been exploring those tiny compact options in recent days. It's really fun. Um, yeah, that is that. And you have AF MF button here. I don't really use that. I just put it on AF all the time, and it doesn't have linear focus. I put it on G9 as well, and it doesn't offer linear focus settings, so you cannot use a linear manual focus on this lens. You do have to turn many times to get to the focus. Is not the easiest manual focus. Okay, so that's about it. Yeah, I just can't get enough of this lens. I look at it all the time. I play with it all the time. It's beautiful. It's fun to shoot with, and yeah, I can't believe I actually like a prime lens. A prime lens that actually makes me want to shoot prime. All right, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And I have another lens review coming up sometime in the future, because I have also the Samyang 85mm lens. Got so many lenses. This one is also bought on the cheap. It's like only €100. This lens plus adapter. The setup is pretty interesting. It's a kind of a rare edition of Samyang lens. You don't really find it anymore. You can't even find it on the official website of Samyang. They don't make this kind of golden aesthetic design anymore. They are all red and black now. This kind of old design. It's very interesting. Actually, it fits in my Panasonic Leica collection very well because of the golden engraving paint. It looks more fitting, better than the red. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna review this one as well. So I'm shooting a lot of sample photos with both these lenses to prepare for a future review video. And yeah, stay tuned. It's not gonna come too soon because I need to test a lot more before I can put any content out. And shooting all the B-rolls, a lot of work. So yeah, that's it. That's the update, and I'm super excited about this 15mm lens. That's why I can't wait to share with you guys. Made this short little talk, overhead gear talk video. That's why. Yeah, it is so light as well. Okay, cool. That's it. I'm gonna sign off.